All right, happy Friday. Hopefully everybody's today's Friday, right? Hope everybody's having a great Friday and really enjoying it and has some good plans this weekend. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to gain complete freedom with your health and your weight. I'm going to talk about what that means when I say complete freedom, because most people may not think about their weight in those terms. So if you're struggling with weight, listen to this, because this is going to set you free. So this is something to think about over the weekend, and I want to dive in. I'm going to be using the board here. We're going to be talking about freedom today. Now, this principle can be used in any aspect of your life, but especially in your health and your weight. That's, obviously I run the Metabolic Reboot program. It's a program I created for ultimate weight loss and weight maintenance, right? Permanent weight loss and optimal health. I help people lose 20 to 45 pounds in just 6 weeks. No exercise, shakes, pills, powders, counting, calories, macros, points, any of that kind of stuff. Like all the typical stuff you do, we don't do. And it's because we abide by the principles of freedom. And I want to teach this to you, and hopefully this will shed some light on why you haven't been able to achieve the goals you want yet in life. Now, this again applies to business goals, family goals, relationships, weight loss, anything you want, cleanliness, saving, bank accounts, whatever it is. This principle will change your life when you understand this. This is, emotional control, spiritual growth. I mean, all of the everything in life abides by these principles. So once you learn this freedom principle, it will change your life. So let's talk about how this works with weight loss. And I want to teach you a principle, and I'm going to tell you how to gain complete freedom with your weight and your health. So let's talk about what that just actually means really fast. Complete freedom. So freedom is, when it comes to your weight, it doesn't mean being able to eat whatever you want, to go out and maintain your weight and eat pizza and junk food and drink, and whatever. Like, that's not freedom. It's like saying I can do whatever I want in life. I have complete freedom. That's not freedom either. Because whenever you're doing whatever you want, there's always consequences. There's a consequence to everything you ever do. So if you think you're gaining something by being able to do whatever you want, well, what are you giving up because of that, right? Like teenagers, let's take the example. Teenagers will say, I want to be able to do whatever I want. I want to be able to come in when I want. I want to be able to do whatever. So let's say they start doing that. They start coming in late. They start drinking. They start doing drugs. And they can do whatever they want. What do they start losing? What freedoms do they start losing because they can do whatever they want, right? Well, we know that, right? Like people who say, I want to be able to do recreational drugs. Well, you lose your freedom with that. When you want to drink alcohol and do it excessively and do it whenever you want, you're going to lose your freedom eventually, right? Well, when you eat food and eat whatever foods you want because you're free to do that, you don't want to feel restricted or deprived, guess what? You lose your freedom to feel comfortable in your skin, your freedom to be the person you want to be, to have energy, to feel good, to sleep well, to fit in whatever clothes you want, to be able to be comfortable going out with your shirt off or in a bikini or a swimming suit, whatever it is that you do. The freedom to be able to enjoy your kids and not be out of breath when you're playing with them in the yard. Your freedom to be active and those types of things. Whenever you go out and eat whatever you want and you want to be able to do what you want with your food, you're giving something up. But whenever you give something up, you may gain some freedom. So I'm going to explain this principle to you. So I want to talk about what are called the circles of freedom. Okay? So the circles of freedom go like this. It starts with one circle here. Okay? We'll say this is where you start. Okay? So you got one circle there. Let's take the example of a child. If you have a small child and a 1-year-old, 2-year-old is old enough to maybe understand, I don't know for the example if that's enough information we need or if that's pertinent, but you got a child and you say, okay, you can play with whatever you want as long as you do it inside your room. There's all your toys and all that stuff, but if you leave your room, you're going to have to go in your crib, right? And maybe we don't set that right away, but that's the general idea, right? So what you've done is this is them here, and you've given them a little bit of freedom, right, to be able to go and play inside their room. But if they leave their room, if they break this boundary here, their freedom is restricted, and they're going to have to come back down to here. Now let's say they get a little bit older. Some of you have maybe like a 5 to maybe 7 or 8, I don't know how old, but a little bit older, 12-year-old, something like that. And you say, all right, you can go outside and play. You can play in the yard, but you can't leave the yard. If you leave the yard, you have to come in the house. So what you've done is you've given them a little more freedom, okay? But if they break that freedom, they lose it, right? So it comes back the other way. And then, let's say they go outside of the yard, they go to their friend's house and they didn't tell you. Well, what does that mean? They got to come in the house now because they left the yard. They broke the boundary. They broke the rule that you had set. Now you become a teenager, right? What happens when you become a teenager? A 16-year-old, depending on the state you live in. You get your license, right? So you get a little more freedom. Now you might have some family rules. Family rules say you got to be home at this time. And this is true. Maybe you give them a cell phone, a car, whatever it is, right? And you can drive the family car, or you can stay out till midnight, or whatever it is. But if you come home late, what happens? You lose your freedom. You have to come home earlier the next night. That's at least how it was kind of in my house. If you come home after 12 or whatever the curfew was, well, guess what happens tomorrow night? You have to come in at 10 or I don't know, whatever it was. Or if you leave the city when you're not supposed to leave the city, or you drive or you get a ticket or whatever, you lose the car or whatever freedoms, right? So you have the freedom as long as you stay within the boundaries, okay? So you get the idea. Boundaries keep us safe. You are free. So if you have this much freedom, you are free to go wherever you want in this circle. You can do whatever you want inside this circle as long as you stay within the circle. As soon as you go outside of the circle, your freedoms are gone, and they're actually going to start coming back the other way. You're going to start losing them. Easy example of this. You can drive anywhere you want in the United States and probably other countries. I don't live in another country, but if you're there, if you're in Canada or Australia or England or wherever you live, you can drive wherever you want as long as you follow the laws, right? As soon as you start breaking the laws, what starts happening? You start becoming restricted. You break them enough times, you lose your license, right? You go on suspension. You break it again, you lose it. Guess what? You have no ability to drive now. So you're thinking, yeah, I can go whatever I want. I can speed 100 miles an hour. That's not freedom, because you're going to lose it. You're going to lose the ability. You're breaking the rules, so you're going to lose the ability, okay? So this principle is super, super important to understand. Chris, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about as well, Chris. Thanks for joining. All right, so you have to understand this principle in order to understand how to lose weight permanently, okay? Never have to worry about weight or health again, okay? So here's what you have to do. Here's the first thing you have to do. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to write it on the board here. First thing you have to do with your... I'll get a different marker here. We'll do green. So number 1. Can we see green? Let's do blue. Number 1. First thing you have to do is you have to understand what are the rules. So you have to learn the rules. Okay? What are the rules? Oh, there's a glare there. Sorry, hopefully you get it. Learn the rules. What are the rules of weight loss? Now, I don't just mean weight loss. It's not calories in, calories out. Get that out of your head right now. You just got to be in a deficit. That's bull crap. It doesn't work. Trust me, for people who've tried it and you haven't gotten results, you might be one of them. You know that. I'm talking about how the rules of our body. This is the most important thing. How does our body work? Okay? When you understand how the body works, you learn the rules of weight loss. Because if you abide by the rules, it will work every time. I'll give you an example that you'll understand. If you plant a tree, okay? Let's say I gave you a little seedling, little sapling apple tree or something. I don't know what they call a baby apple tree. I don't know if it's called a sapling. I'm not a gardener. I don't know if you, or whatever you call it. Anyway, I give you a little baby, apple tree and say, all right, so-and-so, I want you to go and plant this apple tree and get it growing. It'll take a year or two maybe to start producing. But when it does, I want you to come back and give me some of the fruit. Okay? I want you to give me some fruit. And you do that, and you come back to me and you say, Jared, I grew some apples, and here they are, they're delicious. And I say, awesome, very cool. What did you do to grow that? You'd say, well, I gave it soil. I put it in good soil. I watered it as often as I needed to. And then I gave it sunlight as well. I put it in a good position. I say, awesome. Well, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to give it sunlight. I want you to give it good soil, but I want you to start watering it with something different, something besides water. It could be any liquid out there. Gasoline, Gatorade, orange juice. You can mix liquids. You could take multiple different liquids, and as long as it doesn't have water in it, that's okay. And you start doing that. Well, look, you're going, okay, I get it, Jared. That's not going to work, right? Like the tree's going to die. If it's like the plant that often sits in my office, when I forget to give it water, it starts to die. Well, what happens when I give it water? It comes back. Hopefully, it hasn't gotten to a part that it can't come back from. So you start giving it water. You're giving it what it needs. You abide by the rules, and what happens? It starts to work. It starts to gain freedom. The plant is free to live, right? The plant can't say, I want to do whatever I want, drink whatever kind of liquid I want, because that would lose its freedom, right? The freedoms would be restricted, okay? So the first thing you have to understand are the rules of how our body works. Learn the rules of the body. That's the key. You have to learn that, number one, if you ever want to get your weight off permanently. Permanently is the operative word. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of weight loss approaches out there will help you lose weight, but they're not doing it the right way. Calories in, calories out is not the right way. If that's what you're thinking and trying right now, and you're going to the gym and you're exercising thinking I need to get in a deficit, it's not the right way. That is a rule amongst like dozens of rules that you have to abide by in order for your body to lose fat permanently. Okay? Weight and fat are different. If you're not abiding by the rules, you'll lose weight, but you won't lose fat. What I mean by that is you'll lose muscle, and your muscles will get small, and you'll go, why do I look all haggard and feel like crap? And I'm losing weight, but I don't feel good. I got to gain muscle back. That's crap. You're breaking the rules, okay? If you want to lose weight permanently and do it healthily, and you want to do it sustainably, right? What I mean by sustainably is you don't have to kill yourself in the gym. You don't have to drink shakes and all these weird things, because those do not abide by the rules of the body, right? So if you want to lose weight permanently, you have to get the body healthy. That's the rule. Now, there are a lot of ways to do that. There's about, when we talk about weight gain, there's like 7 or 8 different things that make your body gain weight. Stress, toxins, hormone imbalances, blood sugar imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, poor digestion, microbes, gut intolerances, food intolerances, gut problems. So those are some of the major things. Inflammation comes into there, it destroys your metabolism. So those are the major things that if you break those rules, you're going to gain weight. And if you resolve those problems, you start abiding by the rules of the body, you satisfy the equation. If you satisfy the equation, your body will lose the weight and it'll keep it off. So if you want to lose weight permanently, you have to get the body healthy. Okay? So I could say weight loss, we'll call this PWL. Permanent weight loss equals health. Okay? That's the key. Permanent weight loss equals health. Okay? That's the equation. You have to do that. You have to do that. There's no way you can do it. So you have to learn the rules of the body, okay? Number two, the second rule of gaining freedom is you have to follow the rule. Simple. Learn the rule and then follow it. That's it. Like, I know that sounds silly, but you have to learn the rules of how the body works, and then you have to follow it. If you stop following the rules, that's like saying, I started watering my plant with something besides water. You knew the rule, you broke the rule, right? What happens when you break the rule? We'll recap here. You got freedom, it gets restricted. And now you're living in a smaller space. You're living with poor energy. You're living with uncomfortableness in your body and your skin and your clothes. You're living with poor sleep. You're living with discouragement and despair. You're living with poor confidence, poor self-esteem, lack of discipline in your life, or feeling like you're disciplined. You can't accomplish your goals that you want to accomplish. One of the worst things that I hear people say, or the hardest thing that people say to me that they're dealing with, is that they feel like they can't achieve this goal, and everywhere in their life they've been able to do it except for with their weight. Everywhere in their life they've been able to accomplish what they want except for their weight permanently. And it's because they haven't learned the rules and they're not following the rules. That's it. So, and the reason why this is important, sorry, I threw my marker. The reason why this is important is the rule. It's like trying to go hiking. If you were to go hiking and I were to say, all right, here's the path you have to follow. Okay? If you get off this path, I can't help you. Sorry, you're lost. Here's a path. You have to follow the path. And if I said instead of that, I said, here's a map. Here's a general map of the entire area. Here's the path you're on, but here's a couple of other paths, and here's some other things you could do if you happen to get off this one, or you want to go explore over here, you want to do this instead, you can still get back to your car. You can still get back home. A map is different than a path. If you learn the rules of your body, that gives you a map. And you have to learn how to read that map, of course, and then you have to follow the map. You can't throw your map out the window. You can't get rid of your map. If you lose the map, you're going to be in a bad situation. So you have to learn the rules, which gives you a map, and then you have to abide by the map. You can't, expect to not, you can't try to follow a map for Canada if you live in the United States. It's not going to work, right? So again, that means you have to have the right map. You have to learn the right rules of the body, not calories in, calories out. You go talk to most practitioners, and I know I'm pushing the grain here. You go talk to most practitioners. I have tons of friends who are medical doctors and practitioners, tons of friends who are personal trainers. If you go talk to them, they will tell you need to get in a deficit. Here's some strategies you can do. Here's what you can do. We'll make a meal plan for you. We'll put it in a little Tupperware, and that'll help you. Or we'll give you prepackaged meals, or we'll give you shakes to drink so that you're in a deficit. As long as you're in a deficit, you'll lose weight. Bull. You know it because you've tried it. It doesn't work permanently because you're not abiding by the rules. Toxins, stress, hormonal imbalances, gut problems, food intolerances, microbes, inflammation, insulin imbalances. Those are the rules. If you don't learn how to abide by those, you'll never do it. So hopefully this helps. I want you to remember the circles of freedom. That's going to set you free in anything. If you're not happy with your life, here's the real key. If you're not happy with where you are in life, that could be in your relationship. That could be with your children. That could be with your weight, your finances. That could be with your business. That could be anything in your life. It's because you're not abiding by the rules that have to be followed. Businesses have rules. Business has rules. The economy has rules. Parenting has rules. Relationships have rules. You can't be free to do whatever you want and expect to have a great marriage. You can't be free to get mad at your spouse and to blame them for everything. You can't be free to be selfish and go play video games when your wife's doing the dishes. You can't be free to do whatever you want and not show up to home at 8 o'clock and expect to have a good marriage. That's not the rules of marriage, right? That's not how it works. You have to learn the rules and follow them if you want to lose weight and keep it off permanently. So hopefully this helps. If you have questions, comment below. If you like this, if this makes sense, if this is helpful, please like the video. That's how we perpetuate great information. That's how we get the message out. If this has been helpful for you, share it on your page, like it, comment, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully this helps. And I promise you, my own testament of this, when you learn the rules, especially of the body, we're talking about weight loss here, this is how I help people lose 20 to 45 pounds of fat in 6 weeks. No exercise, no shakes, no pills, no powders, no counting, no hunger, no cravings. Only, like I talked to a guy today who dropped 2 pant sizes. He had to buy, not 2 pant sizes, he had to buy clothes twice in the program. and his blood labs are completely normal. He feels awesome. He's lost 40 pounds, almost 40 pounds, just under. He's like 39 pounds in just 6 weeks. Today's like his 6-week mark or just right around there. That's the rules of the body. That's how I do it. That's how I've been able to keep the weight off for 5 years. And we're making brownies tonight. We're making sloppy joes tonight. I think that's what we're making. We're going to use some sweet potatoes and stuff like that. But that's how we do it. You just follow the rules. So if you want to know how to, follow the rules, if you want the map, if you want to learn the rules of the body, reach out to me. That's what I do in my program. I teach people the rules. I give them a map. I don't give them a path. I give them a map so they can see the path that they're on, but they can also see everything around it, and so they can navigate it whenever things change, whenever they get off, or when Christmas rolls around, right? It's hard. Halloween's coming up. Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas coming up. What are you going to do during those times so that you don't gain 10 pounds? But I have people who go through those and lose 30 pounds, who start Thanksgiving Day, and by the 1st of January, they're already down 30 pounds or more, maybe less, but 20 to 45 is typical. So anyway, it's because we abide by the rules. So if you want complete freedom in your life, learn the rules and follow them. All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if it does. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. We'll see you guys later.